Hi there, welcome back everybody to the Gfinity Arena for the third EU 2K of the season. And the next game we've got coming up is of course going to be Team Infused taking on Soaring. This is one I'm really looking forward to. Of course, Infused, champions of last week's 2K. Soaring coming off the back of knocking out the finalists of last week, Mystic, in a 3-1 fashion. Gentlemen, welcome to the desk again.
Thank you.
I know you went to find your phone charger and everyone laughed at you because you asked for an Android one.
I was on 1%. Android master race, by the way.
But let's get your thoughts on this one, gentlemen. I think this is going to be a real stern test here for Team Infused.
Yes, it will be. I think Soaring have their sights on knocking out both of last week's finalists right here. And to do that, honestly, I think depends on the game types, because you're right, Infused, they do have a hell of a task against them. We saw Soaring in the previous matchup on stream, looked very, very strong, looked very formidable. Fragger looked on point. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Infused deal with a player who is on form. We saw last week they struggled on one particular game type when Batchford was on form. They really struggled to kind of keep him quelled, as it were. I was trying to think of a word right there. Quelled.
That might have been my fault. I was just reminding Harry that he had his shirt on. But anyway, let's have a look at the series layout.
Did you
for
really
this
forget?
Series.
I actually did.
It was funny. His face, he genuinely went, Jesus. But anyway, this is the series layout for this semi-final. It's going to be a little bit different here. So we've got CTF Truth kicking things off. Then we move over to Plaza for Slayer. Strongholds on Empire. Capture the Flag Coliseum if required. And of course, sitting at the end there, looking all pretty, it's going to be the Rig Slayer. Gentlemen, anything jumping out at you like a jack in the box?
That Game 2 Plaza Slayer, it was one I literally just said Infused really struggled with last week when a player went off on a tear in Batchford. They really didn't know how to stop that man. So if Fragger, SLG, one of the guys on Soaring can go off in a similar vein, then they'll get at least one map win in this series. Flag Truth, game number 1 is going to be tough to take off Infused, but I mean, if you win that one and you're Soaring and you win game number 2 as well, all of a sudden all you have to do is win one more map in this series and then you're in the grand finals of this 2K.
Absolutely, but the question is, how strong is this honeymoon period, which we might call it, with the team of Soaring? Because so far, it's like I said, they're playing really well. They did a really good game against Maestro, but the question is, can they carry that over with that confidence against Infused? We've said it so many times in the past with previous teams where they've got all this momentum, all this excitement going into the final, play Infused, complete opposite end of the spectrum. So now the question is, Ali, will they take off? It depends. We're going to have to see how it goes. This will be their real big test.
Yeah, I mean, this is, as we always say, the yardstick in Europe, isn't it? You know, you can do really well, you can beat all the other teams. How do you come up against Team Infused? This is the real telltale of how a team's performing. And we have to remember as well, this Soaring lineup haven't been together too long, as we say, but they are riding that wave of momentum. And I just worry if this little break between series may have sort of slowed that down a little bit. They need to get out to a hot start in this series. And that first game type, Truth CTF, we have seen Infused. They're pretty strong on it, so it's definitely going to be a real test for them in this first game.
It is, yeah. Infused do really well on this game type. They play it so well. Every single time the camouflage is coming up, they are able to manipulate the spawns away from the enemy team's pink side. That's something you're going to see a lot here on Truth, especially on Slayer. Not so much on Flag, but Infused play it so well. When they get that camouflage, they're instantly flanking basement. They're instantly pushing into the enemy team's base. They're instantly doing exactly what you need to do here on Truth to put the enemy team on the back foot, and they do that so well through strong slaying and Kimbo and Respectful, and also great movement through Jimbo. And Mose is just, every single time I swap to his point of view, seems to be flanking basement. So, yeah, you got to watch out for this, man. You have to keep tabs on every single member of Team Infused if you're Soaring right here.
Absolutely. You've got men with Infused as well. They've got Fathom CTF and Collie TS, which isn't in this lineup in this series. So, Soaring have got a lot on their plate. Maybe if they had a couple of game types in their favour, they'll be okay. But, you know, you've got True CTF, you've got Plaza Slayer, you know, it's got Infused written all over it. So, it's going to make you think Soaring really have to go in hard game 1 to really show them who's boss.
Yeah, we're nearly ready for this lobby as well. We're just waiting for Respectful. Brandon Stones calling you out on stream. Got on the right team, mate.
He's probably trying to put his bumper back in.
It's true, yeah. Just fixing his connection. He's got the meme that Rich made of him with the storm rifle in the background.
Yeah. Just
plugging his server in and all that. Yeah.
Into the server wires. I bet he's got like a pile in the corner of his room is just a controller graveyard.
And used routers.
Yeah. Wires, controllers everywhere.
That's, I mean, we joke.
Thumbsticks all over the floor.
We joke, but I think that's actually
you
pretty.
You ever stepped on a thumbstick?
No.
Really hurts.
Don't imagine it's like, similar to Lego.
Like, yeah, it's not good.
It's kind of like the step up before Lego.
Yeah.
Like if you get to Lego, you're like, oh, I'm ruined.
It's like the Lego training wheels.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Have you ever walked on fire? Just randomly bring
Let
this
us
up.
know. Hashtag LOWC.
Have you ever walked on Lego? Someone save us. Anyway, let's talk about the other
Love
side
is
of
pretty
things
ready.
now. Let's talk about the other side of things just as we're waiting to get into this one. SOARING, of course, very, very strong performance. And then we've seen Fragger has been such a fantastic pickup. But one player we haven't talked a lot about on this team is Cristola. He was dropped off of Vex to eBuyer. They brought in Snipe Drone. How do you see Cristola working out as a player on this team, and what does he bring to that team?
Cristola was one of those players on Vex eBuyer where they were more looking for a player to be more of a damage dealer alongside Cordios, right? Cristola is more one of those players who will try and flank around, almost like his namesake Pistola in the North American side. So you're going to see Cristola here working around Fragger and SLG Slays and try and flank around Team Infused on this SOARING lineup, because, I mean, we saw in the previous series on Eden Strongholds, he was doing that and getting rockets as a result of catching players off guard on Eden Strongholds.
Right then, here we go. Our first semi-final of the day is going to be capture the flag on Truth to get this one underway. 3 captures to win, of course. That TAC-MAC bottom middle, that's going to respawn every 40 seconds or so. The plasma pistol as well on the map. Great for controlling and manipulating those players coming off the spawn. But we're starting off with Brandon Stones. It's Mr. Respectful.
Yeah, he's going to sit window right here and really try and pressure any of the players going for that camouflage early off in the game. That's going to allow Jimbo to slam that one into his chest. And a double kill to start the game off from the best player in Europe. He's hungry for more right here. And you can already see what we talked about in the pregame. Jimbo flanking basement instantly. As soon as he got that camouflage, that's all he wants to do. Get in that basement, get behind the enemy team. Cristola will take him down though. And we'll see what Respectful's up to. Still picking up Slays here in the SOARING base. That's another one. Fragger goes down. And still pressure in the basement right here from Team Infused. This is suffocating pressure early on, not even a minute into the game, and here's the first flag run.
Yeah, J&K, the 2 Imbos picking up kills as well. Respectful is going to be running this one towards the pink side of the map, but Cristola does manage to take him down. Now it's all about Slays for Team Infused. Don't worry about getting the run on that flag until you get Slays, and with Kimbo and Mo's picking up Slays, and the last 2 players trapped in the basement, we would look to one of these players who's coming off the respawn for Team Infused here to get a touch on that, but it looks like Mo's going for that flank, maybe thinking about that one of those players going for the return and maybe picking up that kill from a different angle.
Basement spawn is so unfortunate there for Mose. His intent was to try and cut that front base and stop any players going for that return, but he wanted to flank into basement, which is what he did, and unfortunately Fragger spawned there and greeted him with a trade. That prevented him watching over that flag, but Slay's going into Infused space right now. Fragger knows his team are at a numbers disadvantage, so will back off and look for some Infused members. Didn't spot Mose at top middle right there. That's going to catch Fragger off guard, and both players in the end will go down. Cristola in a fight, he will take down Jimbo to no shields. And Camouflage not for another 30 seconds, so Cristola is going to push up right here and try and pin Infused in the enemy base. He has Snaky in the base with him as well, so this is actually a really good pressure from SOARING right now. We saw at the start of the game with Infused suffocating pressure in SOARING's base. It's really good that they bounced back, and they actually have pink tower control right here for this camouflage coming up in around 10 seconds.
And this is a great thing about Infused as well. We're in that bubble earlier. Literally, the first thing they had to do was literally get at least one guy on that flag to then get some kind of crossfire and let SOARING come to them. And as you can see, done that straight away, and Infused have gone straight back to the SOARING base.
Yeah, 3v3 situation here. Fragger does have P2 control, so it's going to be difficult for Infused to run that flag on the P side of the map, but players coming off the respawn, and Mose has the opportunity to make a play here. Gets the touch on the flag, and Respectful comes in to save his life as well, taking down Snaky. Mose now actually going to play this one slowly, and I like what I'm seeing here. He knows there's players who are sitting around the P tower, needs to pick up Slays before another touch can come on that, but Cristola gets taken down by Mose. Now he can think about maybe picking up another kill, and that player going for the return. As that green gun lands it, can Snaky get the return? Yes, Snaky does get the return. So here we have SOARING living to fight another day.
Really nice kills from Mose, but if you let Snaky get the return right there, that's kind of a wasted play. I mean,
yeah, agreed,
the whole
definitely.
play at P2 right there was to try and keep that flag alive, keep players from pushing to that return. You leave the flag for a moment and Snaky hops the return. Fair enough, you get the kill on Snaky, but your camouflage gets burned because a player trades you, and Snaky gets the return. So yeah, it looks like at the moment SOARING fighting out of their own base. Kimbo will take one down from the grave, but look at this, Fragger's already in the Infused base. If he wins that a 1v1, that flag is on the move with fresh respawners coming from Infused. So very important for Jimbo right here to push back into his own base, which is what he's doing, and try and clear out any of the SOARING players who are still swarming his base.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk quickly about the importance of picking up little kills as you're being taken down. We saw Kimbo managing to pick up a stick. That means players coming off the respawn are going to be fighting a 3v3 situation. But look at this, as I'm flapping my gums about something that's happened before, Snaky's running the first flag home, and it's going to be SOARING who take the lead in this game number 1 of our first semi-final. They go up by 1. Team Infused very much on the back foot.
Yeah, very impressive play there from SOARING, and as we said before, Fragger getting that flag, fair enough, he gets the pull, right? He doesn't get the kill in the end, but the fact he's still in the Infused base immediately after those fresh slays come in from his teammates, yeah, let him know, Snaky. That was a big win. But the fact that Fragger is able to pull that flag early means that Infused, they're constantly on spawn. They're constantly trying to fight back into their own base. All of a sudden, they leave the flag and it gets across the map, and it's Soaring to put that one in. Camouflage coming up soon. It was Moz who grabbed the last one. So let's see. I want to see what Cristola's up to right here. In fact, it's Fragger who's just picked up Camouflage. So watch the kill feed. If he goes down, which he does, no Camouflage in play this time round.
And this is a good thing about Soaring as well. They've got so much confidence going into this, knowing that, it's like I spoke before, if they've got that momentum and they're going without the confidence, you know, they've got nothing to run by. But it looks like now you can see how patient they are with every kill in every situation. This is the difference with the top teams in Europe right now. It's the fact that whoever makes the first mistake, you've got to make sure to capitalise on it. And you can see Soaring are doing that just that little bit more compared to Infused. But it's the difference of consistency going on from there.
Fragger here going to have a battle with SLG. His longtime teammate and friend manages to help him out once again by picking that one up. Moz picks up a kill as well, and Infused seem to be winning the slaying battle at the moment, but it just seems they're not being too efficient with that objective. But as I say that, Jimbo has managed to infiltrate enemy lines. Snaky's going to be putting shots across the map here, but as you can see from these player outlines and the wonderful observing from Wonderboy, that is going to be the game tied up at 1-1 as Jimbo runs that flag home.
Much better from Infused, much more what we expected from them. Jimbo being the man to start the objective, and that allows them to run the flag across the map, thanks to the slays from his teammates. There we go, we're all tied up 1-1, and now it's about how Soaring respond. Fair enough, you get the first flag capture. You let Infused back into the game now. Let's see how they respond. Cristola has the plasma pistol. They get the first slay on Moz as well, so Cristola's immediate intent is to push into the enemy base, flank basement. That player is 1 bullet. We'll get the beat down on Kimbo. He is literally 1 HP, and 1 bullet from Respectful will put him down. Jimbo, you can see again, coming off that carbine respawn, having to push back into his own base. Like you say, Mark, great damage, pushing these players back to the pink side, but these slays really need to come in from Infused, and there's 2 from Moz, could be 3 in a row if he helps Jimbo with Fragger right here. Fragger will stay alive. But good fighting out of his own base there from Jimbo. So many players, when they spawn Carbine, they want to push through Carbine and try and overextend. Jimbo right there, fighting back into his own base with the team, and now they have map control to try and push forward.
Yeah, Jimbo's just done so much damage, but in all of that, the guys from Soaring have managed to pick up some kills as well. Kimbo's going to stop that push coming in from Fragger. He's looking for the second kill on SLG here, but Cristola and SLG, and look at that pink tower control here from Soaring. 3 players, pink side of the map, and that is exactly why, as we can see, Snaky with the camouflage now in his hands, and Infused are once again fighting out their base. Snaky decided to call that player out P2. Should get an easy kill here if he can pick up this kill on Jimbo. So that's not to shoot. He's going to be spied here, and it's just going to be a trade. So Snaky looking for the sneaky play. Jimbo spots him out, and that's only going to be a trade with that camo, and that's not quite good enough in my opinion.
It's the power of the Xbox One X, boys. You see that camouflage so well. So many teraflops. 2 kills from Infused, 3 in a row now. Look to Respectful to start running this flag. Where's the call? He's going to go to Carbine side right here. So they need to be watching front base. Look at those nades coming in, and this is a really nice run considering they got those fresh slays. Respectful will be no shields, but this will be an easy flag run. Really good setup there from Infused. Watching the front base, knowing the only place they could spawn because those Carbine spawns were blocked were flag and basement. Nading the front base meant they couldn't push out, and that was an easy flag capture from Infused.
Absolutely. When you take it car 1, what happened was there 1 top car holding the bubble, 1 P2, and 1 guy on the flag, making sure that guaranteed spawns would happen underneath the base. And it looks like it's happening again now as they're trying to get it back.
Oh, this is a huge fight going down. We can see both of the teams have the flags out of the base, but it's actually Soaring who are picking up the kills here. Going to be 2 dead for Team Infused. Not sure if they got the return. Yes, they did, and SLG will tie up the game at 2-2, and I believe it was Snaky who managed to get behind enemy lines there and get that flag out for Soaring.
It was actually SLG who did that, and again,
Apologies,
it's a similar situation that we saw from the first flag capture. We saw Fragger in Infused base. They didn't know he was there. When Soaring picked up those fresh slays, he was pulling the flag instantly, and similar kind of situation right here. Infused were trying to fashion a flag run, and SLG was behind them to start pulling the flag. So next flag capture wins. Camouflage coming up soon. That's why we're seeing this P2 fight. SLG will win it. 2 down, make it 3 for Infused. And SLG still with pink tower control. You see Moz there on the left-hand side of your screen trying to fight out his pink side, but Snaky's pushing him back. So would be very surprised if we didn't see camouflage control in the hands of Cristola right here. And I can already see he slammed it in his chest. So playing very passive right here in his own base, needs to stay alive and start being a bit more aggressive and flanking basement with his camouflage.
Yeah, now we're going to see the push coming from Cristola. Using this one smartly at the moment, just trying not to give away too much information on where he might be. Waits for that first kill to go in, and we can see all of Team Infused turtled up in their base at the moment. Cristola, if he can find the right angles here, might have a field day, but with Jimbo being taken down, we're going to see him challenged by Respectful. Does manage to pick up one kill. Jimbo's going to be there as well. Jimbo wins the battle against Cristola, and for the second time in a row in this game, we see just a 1-for-1 trade with that camo for Soaring.
Yeah, 2 camo trades in a row for Jimbo. Snakey the victim last time, Cristola that time, and that was a big win for both players, because if Cristola gets that kill, he's still in the Infused basement with camouflage. That nade's a little bit off, but don't worry, no one saw it. And if Jimbo wins, which he did, he's able to clear out his own base, and now look, 20 seconds later, if that, he's already in the Soaring base. 3 down for Soaring, flag already on the move. It's all up to Fragger right here, moving towards his spawners, but he left the flag behind. Shouldn't be a big deal because there's no players back just yet. And Carbine control is in the hands of Soaring, so this flag will be safe for now. It's just about where the slays come in now for Soaring. So vital they get them.
Yeah, this is difficult though, because as you say, just that little misstep there allows Team Infused to push that return. If he gets that flag cleanly home, he gets that one across to at least the Carbine side of the map, makes it more difficult for Team Infused. They get an easy return on that one, so a slight misplay from Fragger at the end there could have contributed towards that final cap. Team Infused, they take game number 1, a closely fought game number 1, 3-2.
Absolutely. We'll take a look at the stats. Jimbo, top Slayer in the game, 24 and 16. Look at those 20 assists from Respectful. Unfortunately, can't see the stats because one of the players decided to reset the lobby, and we won't be able to see those again. But I mean, we saw them for a brief moment. just go
never
for a
forget.
Twitch clip or something.
Never be able to
I was
see
going
them
to check
again.
out the damage dealt, but I mean, we can't. I was willing to bet that Respectful was at the top of the board with that one alongside SLG, because those are the 2 players who, when we go on their POV, are most of the time firing their gun. You know, I mean, it sounds stupid, but most of the time they're going to be the players looking across the map and finding players, listening to callouts and putting shots down. So I wouldn't be surprised to see those 2 at the top of the damage dealt stats.
Well, let's bring in the replays from that last game, as we saw a very tightly contested game between those 2 teams, tied up at 2-2 at one point, but of course Infused managed to close it out. Lethal, anything you saw that stood out for you in this game?
To be fair, it was actually just that last moment. When Fragger dropped the flag, that's 7 seconds wasted, and when you take it Carbine side instead of Pink, the difference is the fact that you've got to do it quick. You can't muck about, because when they spawn underneath the base, they could just flank around instantly. But if they took a Pink side, then obviously they'll spawn in a bubble and they can get away with it. If he dropped it at Pink side, then it wouldn't matter too much because he's got more cover, and due to the spawn situation, it would take Infused a lot longer. But sadly, that one last play was the massive difference maker. But, you know, you can see that there is a sign of hope in terms of at least getting a couple of caps, because we know Infused are really good at this game type, but we've got to make sure that momentum does carry on in the next few games and not get down on the first game.
Yeah, I think that's a big win for Team Infused, especially to, as we say, maybe ice this Soaring team a little bit. They were coming in hot after that big result in the last game. But now we see Team Infused just doing what they do best, and that misplay there, I mean, you hate to see it, but it's not the first time we've seen a bit of a French mistake on the car side of the map, is it? Last time we saw, I think it was Fragger stuck his teammate
then as well, yeah. So car side, not their friends, but very clever play from Infused to oil up the flagpole right there, so that Fragger would slip his hands off it and is not able to grab it properly.
I like that, mate. I like that, mate. You did well.
It's a good play.
Yeah, good.
Oiling up the flagpole. I do it all the time.
Stop saying it. Stop saying it and stop looking into my eyes.
Listen, we've all oiled up a flagpole at one point in our lives.
Yeah. Game number 2's coming up. What is game number 2? I've just had a mind blank.
Plaza Slayer?
Plaza Slayer, that was it. Hey, let's have a look. Production, killing it as always. Plaza Slayer is going to be our second game. And now last week we saw Batchford absolutely destroy the world. I think he would have put up, I mean, anyone playing against that is difficult to stop, but it was a weaker one for Infused last week. Is it a case of maybe it's a weaker game type, or do you think it was just an exceptional performance from one individual player that took that game?
I mean, it was nothing short of a world star performance from Batchford last week. I honestly see Plaza as a really good map for Infused, especially on Strongholds. They're really, really good at Plaza Strongholds, their rotations and controlling spawns on that particular game type so well, but seemed like that overkill at the start of the game. Don't forget that happened like at the first overshield of the game.
Sorry.
That overkill happened. So very important that they don't let something like that happen again, and if they get into a rhythm like they do in Plaza Strongholds, I think they're going to be just fine here on Slayer.
I was just giggling because I remember you shouting yes, and it was just amazing. Anyway, Batchford's not in this game. He's been knocked out of the tournament. 3-0, the start here for Team Infused. Make that 4 as Respectful, puts every single player from the guys on Soaring back into the respawn screen. screen, and Kimbo's managed to bag an overshield, and look at this, 6-2, a fantastic start as Jimbo has the snipe.
Yeah, he needs to be careful though, he stays alive, and he doesn't, and that's going to be the sniper traded to the hands of Cristola, and now they have snipe side of the map. I was very curious to see why Jimbo was actually pushing over there with his teammate who had overshield. I mean, if you have sniper, you don't want to be pushing towards the enemy. You want to try and keep as much distance as possible from the enemy team and try and pick off players like Cristola is trying to right here. And with 2 down for Cristola's team right now, Soaring, they are coming off the respawn, and he needs to stay alive. He has to realize he's going to have no help, and look at his radar right now. There's a player above him. Jimbo's sniffing him out right now too. SLG, do they know he's there? Yes, they do. He will go down too, and if Kimbo finds that snipe, which he has, he goes down as well. This is a bit of a clown fiesta right now here on Plaza.
Very, very true. Infused find themselves 3 down as well. 11-7 the score though, so they do have a kill lead. But look at this push coming in. He does manage to get that stick off, I believe. So one of those situations again from Infused where they manage to get a trade in a disadvantageous position. And those little kills can really add up towards the end of the game. Just stops that complete respawn for one of the teams. Stops them having complete and utter map dominance and maybe being able to rack up 3 or 4 kills. But SLG now picks up a kill on Respectful, so that's going to bring the game back within 3. And we're starting to see the game slow down a little bit as we're about 20-25 seconds away from that overshield popping back again.
Yeah, if I'm Soaring right here, I wait for the Infused push. I mean, you're pushing in right there. You don't win the team fight. Fair enough if you get the trade off for Cristola right there. It's 2 versus 3, but instead, Infused just won a team fight 3-1. And that's going to allow them, with the numbers and your players coming off the respawn, to push this area of the map that Fragger is in. This posters area is so vital to get overshield, and you can see that's why they're fortifying it, but Mose takes both players playing that position down. Could be 3 in a row as well. He will also back the overshield. Kimbo will clean up his kill, and that's exactly why when you have Infused trapped in Plaza, inside of Plaza, all you have to do is just make sure that you are keeping them there, keeping them in yard, and instead they went for the team kill. They got a little bit greedy, honestly, and should have just taken the map advantage, which they did not. Infused push out, and they get the overshield.
Yeah, absolutely. Like with Infused back then, they were actually trying to plan a counter-attack for the next overshield to appear, but instead, Soaring were kind of peeking one at a time, and as soon as Infused got 1 down, they instantly made that move. But Infused are playing this a little bit slower than they normally do, I've noticed, and they were trying to think of a way to actually get around them, but Soaring was trying to control the map and at least try and control the pace of the game in terms of pressurizing them no matter what scenario. But instead, it looks like Infused will have full control again. We'll have to see what happens in the next minute for that next overshield.
Yeah, 3 do drop for Infused though. They just spawn on that blue ramp. It's going to be perfect shots, almost perfect shots, sorry, from Fragger to take down Jimbo, and it's going to be Respectful who managed to sneak away there. Respectful did a good job staying alive. 2 of his teammates fell. Hits that body shot on Snaky to clean him up. Now he's going to be coming under pressure. We see the nades coming in, manages to stay alive, and I love what I'm seeing from Respectful here, rotating back towards his teammates. The last thing he wanted to do in that situation is turn that sniper rifle over to one of the players on Soaring.
Yeah, he needs to be careful that he isn't pushed from posters too aggressive, and I like this rotation right here. We saw Jimbo earlier on who had the sniper in yard, and he was trying to help his overshield teammate, fair enough, but you want to try and get him as far away from the enemy team as possible. Respectful, will the player above him check below him though? That's the question right here. Will he hit Respectful's shields charging? He will get SLG down and no shields, but no more for him. SLG's taken out by Mose, and now it's just a fight over in yard for this sniper, but don't forget that overshield's coming up soon. So Infused, they have an option right here. Do we fight for this sniper, which Snaky has right now? Looks like the call is to fight for it. Or do we just let ourselves have some map control over at posters, which is exactly where they're fortifying right here. Jimbo found the old sniper, but I mean, look at where Kimbo and Respectful are. I mean, they're still over here at poster side of the map and primed and ready to grab that new overshield.
I was going to say, good luck hitting that snipe on that player. Just thrust slid past him. If you hit that, you are not human. The Respectful here is going to be pushing towards a loop. We can see on the player outlines here, 3-player setup. And I think it's because they are more than aware that Jimbo has that sniper rifle, but they do need to try and make some sort of a push. Respectful getting that trade, again, is just going to stop the potential push coming in for this next overshield. It must have been...
Kimbo burned it.
Potentially burned. Yes, it was. Kimbo burned it, as you say. Jimbo now has been hitting some shots with his sniper rifle, and I actually watched him play yesterday, and Jimbo on this map, once again, when he got that sniper rifle, he was hitting so many shots. He's one of these players who takes some fantastic angles with that sniper rifle, and you know, we talk about Kimbo, Respectful, those players used to having it in the hands with. Jimbo knows how to get it done with that weapon. It seems like he really favors it on this map.
Yeah, he's going to kill me because, I mean, we missed a couple of snipe shots on stream while we were on Respectful's POV. So, Jim, when you watch this back, I'm sorry, friend, but Respectful was on a good flank. But yeah, you're right. He really seems to pick his shots nicely with the snipe. He doesn't really go for too many flashy shots like we saw Respectful go for earlier on, does Jimbo. So yeah, around a minute until the next overshield comes up. So we're going to see a lot of team fights in between then. But again, remember, this snipe side of the map, this posters area is absolutely vital to get your hands on the overshield. Infused have done that twice so far this game, and they've had both overshields.
Yeah, and I thought, to be honest, that the actual kill gap would be a lot bigger because sadly for Soaring, they haven't been getting that. When the Infused have been flipping the map back and forth, normally you get an S1 spawn to at least get back Nest instantly and then go S4 and get map control. But sadly, Soaring been spawning Hotel every single time when it's flipped back from Yard. And sadly, haven't been able to make most of it because of the fact that they're spawning in the open every time. But it looks like now they will be changing it to a stalemate situation, waiting for the next overshield over the next 30 seconds.
Cristola is hiding in that elevator. Cannot give up too many deaths right now if you are on Soaring there. Down by 7 at the moment. Infused only need 10 kills left. And Kimbo, this is exactly the kind of situation that is made for him. Oh, no. Snaky, no! Take that star, Respectful. Turns that one around, and we're seeing Soaring picking up kills at a vital moment here because that overshield's coming up, and it's going to allow the pressure to go onto Kimbo as well. Kimbo gets taken down. Cristola now has the overshield. Not only that, he has the sniper rifle as well. This game is now only within 5. Make that 4, and it's the guys from Soaring who are making a comeback toward the end here.
Respectful, I swapped over to his POV because he had the perfect flank on all the players trying to push the posters area for the overshield from Soaring. Gets 3 shots on Snaky and just gets turned on. That's a world star moment and a half. And now look, only down by 3 are Soaring. Chris has the sniper to play with. SLG, do they know he's there? Brandon does. That's a ground pound, but traded off by Cristola. This is a big fight to win right here from Chris. He really can't take this fight if he doesn't think he's going to win it. Pushing very aggressively, knowing he has the advantage. Still has sniper to work with too, so he needs to try and get over to his teammates right here if I'm Chris, and don't turn this sniper rifle over into the hands of Infused, and he will go down.
I mean, I was going to say exactly the same thing there. Yes, you know, Chris didn't have to take that fight, and Kimbo did the best job out of the 2 players, I believe, there. He stayed alive. Kimbo moved towards his teammates. Cristola almost moved towards an angle instead of where his teammates were, and in the situation where he knew that Kimbo was going to be potentially coming back around that corner and maybe looking to re-engage in that fight, he was always going to have players coming off the respawn reacting to that call-out, which was going to make Kimbo's fight easier. So slight misplay, in my opinion, there from Chris. One of those situational ones that maybe in-game you don't sort of recognize, but SLG is going to pick up a kill here. Another player, Jimbo, going to be caught with no shields. Somehow Jimbo's staying alive. SLG picks up the kill. Cristola picks up another one. That's 3 dead. The lead has changed hands. As you say, Harry, 2 kills to go now. Just like that. Soaring coming back into this one.
Only 2 deaths to work with for Infused. They're trapped over at Snipe.
Oh, the lamppost saved Jim.
Overshield's coming up soon, Mark, as well. So SLG holding this position is so vital. Infused, they have to push out for map control, but if they do that and they don't do it correctly, Respectful goes down. If Soaring get this overshield, they don't even want the overshield. They will take Plaza Slayer away from Team Infused. Infused a 2nd week in a row. They will lose that game type. And wow, what a comeback from Soaring. They were down by 12 in that game.
I have no idea how that just happened. That comeback towards the end, that must have been a 7 or 8 kill trade, pretty much without response.
Stop resetting the lobby.
Towards the end there.
We need to see
stats. Stop resetting the lobby. We want to bring up those stats. We want to show the people at home exactly who to blame, basically, and who had a good game. But
it's Chris. Chris is a head case. He resets the lobby after every single game.
Is that true?
Yeah, he's party leader right now. It says Cristola setting up a custom game. Chris, look at me. Stop.
If that's not something, if you're not scared by that face, I don't know what you will be.
Angry,
but let's break that one down a little bit. What actually happened towards the end there that you saw that turned that game around? Because it seemed like Infused had total control of the map.
Well, basically what happened was when Bran was on Nest, he pushed up Nest so that at least he can spawn his teammates on S1. So when they respawn, they got cover, and then they can decide from there. But it looks like instead of the 2 of them coming up from S1 to Nest and try and push anyone across from Cine Stairs, they decided to push around Hotel, which is a lot more open, but Soaring was so aggressive, they managed to actually counteract and actually suffocate them there. So I reckon if the 2 players who were spawning S1 did actually come up and give Respectful a chance to actually do anything, then it would have been either way. But I don't think they knew exactly where Soaring were on the map, and they realised they were just way too aggressive in comparison.
Do you know who are great? Production, because they managed to capture the stats from the last game for us. Bring them up, show us. There we are. Have a round of applause.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'll give them.
Use that hashtag KMWC. Tell them how good they are, but break down these stats for us, gents.
I can't really see because the monitor's too far away, so I'm going to leave this one to hand.
The monitor's literally in front.
Listen, I'm blind.
Anyway.
These glasses are fake.
Exposed.
Absolutely. But yeah, we've got some good stuff. Snaky 16, 10, and 13 with 29 kills basically getting involved in. And to be fair, all the stats entirely are very similar. No one really outstood or, did too bad in comparison. But Snaky's 16, 10, and 13 was probably the best for me out of all of them.
Yeah, and that play where he turned it on Respectful as well, and just dishing out stars like
Gives me goosebumps.
constellations going on out here.
It's
Northern
like Hollywood
Lights.
Boulevard out here.
Unbelievable.
You did that?
Oh, I did. I loved it. We were both just throwing out metaphors like it was nothing there.
It's your day job.
Like it's
Nothing. Easy. Anyway, moving on to game number 2. What is game number
3?
Three.
Empire Strongholds.
Yes.
2? 3's after 2, isn't it? Always has
Yes.
been, always will be.
Plus
Plaza
1 is 3.
Plaza
Snaps.
Stronghold, so we're back on Plaza.
Back on Empire.
Empire.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
You're drunk. Go home.
I'm not drunk.
Yet.
You're drunk. Anyway, Stronghold to Empire is going to be our next game. Now, this is one we've seen Infused have some big games on, and especially Jimbo had a killing frenzy last week in that grand final, and he did such a good job of controlling that camo as well.
Yeah, it's a real shame that SOARING didn't put themselves in a position to win this series going into this game type, because when you have Infused on the back foot on Empire Strongholds, I honestly think that's the only condition that you'll see Infused falter on this game type, when they feel like they have something to lose. If you win that game 1, which was close by the way, don't forget it was 3-2 on Truth Capture the Flag.
Yeah.
If you win that game 1 and you just took Plaza Slayer against them as well, you have a chance of winning this. But Infused, when they know they're still in the series, they have a lifeline. It's only 1-1, and if we lose it, it's only 2-1 down we go. I don't see them losing this game type. I see them winning this one and then probably Coliseum capture the flag afterwards as well.
Yeah, it'd be quite difficult because with the Maestro and Infused match last time, Jimbo was getting literally every single overshield, and he wasn't really ever contested for it. And hopefully, with SOARING's communication and their coordination going into this, as long as they leave at least 2 or 3 outside, not at all times, but at most convenient moments, especially 20 seconds before each power-up comes up, we just need to make sure that SOARING do contest all these power-ups rather than just leaving it and go for the points.
Well, good news. Head casing is over. We're getting into the game. It's game number 3 of the series, and it's a best of 5. God, do you know what? Yeah, I know. I've got production in my ears at the moment telling me we're doing everything for you, and you can't even say numbers. But anyway, we're getting into game number 3. We're getting into it. They're throwing me under the bus now. Do you know what?
Me?
Production, I'm putting my shoes on the desk again.
Oh,
what are you
here
doing?
we go. Here we
What
go.
are you going to do? But anyway, moving into this game, Strongholds.
I can't work under these conditions.
How do you fancy this one go, gentlemen? Do you think that the momentum is going to be rode here by SOARING, or do you think Infused are going to take this one?
Me and you are no longer speaking. No, I think Infused win this one. I honestly, like you said before, Jimbo is an absolute power weapon fiend. And on this particular map, there's no power weapons, it's just power up. So guess what? He's going to play for those as well. And we saw last week with the camouflage, he was making some unreal plays. He won't play for it straight away. Instead, he's going to push the blue bend and secure overshield for his teammate right there. I believe that's respectful. So you give the best player in Europe an extra set of shields to play with. Kimbo, by the way, just grabbed camo as well. So both power-ups going into the hands of Team Infused at the start of this game.
Yeah, they're going to turn the pit into their own as well. Now they're going to push aggressively, and like we'll see it from Respectful here, pushing aggressively on those players who might have been hanging back a little bit. And if there is a player potentially would have won a battle at home, that could have been a triple cap off the bat there. But they do have the guys from SOARING now on that respawn. They're going to have Cristola's going to be on his own, does a good job to just back up and maybe stay alive in this situation as his teammates are coming off the respawn, but shots from Respectful are going to take him down to no shields. That grenade is going to finish him off as well. So now Infused find themselves in a 3v3 situation as Jimbo gets taken down, but they do have control of those strongholds.
Yeah, they do, and right now, I'm not sure why they're trying to grab Pit. This probably won't work out. I mean, they only had 1 Slay. If you're going for Pit and you don't have turbine control, 1 Slay is not going to do it. Infused are going to pounce on that advantage. We saw the kill feed. Last 3 kills all went in Infused's favor. They get the reset on the Pit, and now they push for the triple cap as well. This is going to be a contesting play on blue, but unfortunately, a little bit late. They will grab red and maintain scoring, but 30 seconds odd until the next kind of power-up team fights are going to happen on the map at Tower and Turbine. So between then and now, Infused are going to try and put a triple cap in place and really just absolutely suffocate you so you forget about those power-ups entirely.
And the best thing about Respectful then is the fact they never pushed in fully every time. After 1 died, he made sure to pull back just a little bit and jumped so that he timed it perfectly on the respawn for Blue Push to suffocate him even further for another 10 seconds.
And the player who made that possible for Respectful was Jimbo again. He was just jumping in, causing so many problems as Respectful was just working with him almost perfectly, just cleaning up those kills, using Jimbo as bait and doing his job perfectly. 37-0.
Power
A
up.
hot start here from Team Infused. And as you say, Wonderboy, those power-ups are going to be popping up. And if you're coming off the respawn when they are, that is bad news, Bears, because it's going to make those fights all the more difficult.
Yeah, especially considering Infused got both power-ups at the start of the game. Jimbo will slam the overshield in his chest. I think Cristola is over at the tower, and yep, there you go. Camouflage in his chest. So Cristola's main objective right now, try and find out where Jimbo is playing. I think he sniffs him out over here at red. This is going to be a key fight. Don't forget, Jimbo, such a good camo-wise player with that Xbox One X that he's rocking. See that plug right there? You can pay me, Microsoft, if you want. But yeah, Jimbo is smartly going to move away from this camouflage player, but all the while, Jimbo's going to be worried about where this camouflage player is. So we'll see what happens between these two players. Pretty much all focusing around them right now.
Classic fight going on in the pit here, and Cristola was actually taken out of commission there, so a last player alive here is going to be taken down by Mose as well. A great push coming in from Infused on that pit, managed to keep that one in their possession, and a 51-5 the game. The points are halfway over, and this grenade could be absolutely perfect from Jimbo. He's going to stop that red base momentarily, backs up, and now refocuses his attention to that all-important pit stronghold.
Again, one slay, no turbine control. Soaring, you can't do this against Infused.
Dude, Jimbo is the best
get the pit
Empire
right
Strongholds player that there is in Europe at the moment.
But the thing is, Soaring are making it so easy for him. I mean, SLG in the pit, you only have one slay, you don't have turbine control. That's day one textbook Empire Strongholds right there. You've got to have some form of control. You can't just expect to get pit off one slay. SLG, again the culprit, walking in, no slays. This is just not good enough from Soaring so far, SLG especially.
Jimbo is having the time of his life on this map at the moment. Once again, this battle outside is coinciding with that next round of power-ups, potentially coming up very soon as well. 71-5, and at this point you have to wonder, if Infused keep rolling like this, I'm not sure that those power-ups could even potentially come into effect at this point. Gonna be Fragger who's putting shots down. 2 dead once again, though, for his team. We see all the players coming off the respawn, a triple cap in effect, and the last thing you want when you're down score is to see Kimbo and Respectful thrust sliding towards you, pistols in hand.
Yeah, you can see right now, like you said, Mark, they don't even want to play for these power-ups. They want to push as aggressively on blue base as possible and suffocate Soaring. Don't let them get a handle on the map. I believe it was Kimbo who just grabbed the overshield. Don't forget it was Cristola who grabbed the last camouflage, but guess what? Mose picked that one up from Infused, so both power-ups and 86-5 in the favor of Infused right now. This is scary for Soaring. I think this game is done.
Yeah, the control has been absolutely remarkable by Infused, and in certain situations, just keeping them alive on purpose in certain scenarios, just so they can split the spawns and get into that 2v1 situation all the time, not giving them a chance to even wait for each other and cause some kind of like situation where they can actually get at least 1 point on the board. But it looks like now it's going to carry on until they get that pit back, and they do.
How many times have we said it? SLG once again caught on his own in the pit. Wow. Mose is going to have the easiest kill of his life fall in front of him, and I think you've called it. The triple cap in effect. GG, a no re. It's going to be game number 3 of the series going to Team Infused, and that, I mean, that was an absolute smashing.
Let's see how quickly Cristola keeps the stats up this time before he head cases and tries to reset the lobby. We got a timer up. Okay, let's have a little look while we can. 13-7 is the kill to death ratio for Jimbo. He, as you said, was having an absolute fantastic performance, and there's the head case.
Immediate
Cristola, play by playing the menus. This is an all-time low for me, but
he just knows.
That was a really, really poor performance, and their lack of coordination coming into play there from Soaring. I mean, we saw, again, how many times? 3 different times in a row we saw SLG trying to grab pit with no slays and no control. Production coming up clutch once again. There's the stats again. Nothing really of note across the board apart from that big performance from Jimbo and Mose.
1337 by Jimmy on that little stone on the stat line. yeah, it's just a good example of how well you can play strong as Empire. It's not really about momentum in some cases. You can see they were constantly having people outside, and any time they didn't, when they had a trip cap and they were surrounding around tower and the both bases as well. And they were so aggressive but so patient at the same time. And they even got to a point where Soaring were going in one at a time, and I think they just started to give up and just lose hope for that second half and just go, you know what, we'll just go straight into game 4 with a fresh start.
Yeah, I want to talk about Jimbo a little bit more because it's the second time that we've seen him have a huge performance on that particular game time. Talk to me about what makes him so good. For me, personally, it just seems he's so good at prioritizing the important kills on the map or making sure that he's contesting those strongholds at the right moments.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, because he plays power-up so much, he's one of those players who just loves having a power-up in his possession, right? You know, how many times have we seen Jimbo with a camouflage here on Empire Strongholds? But he just always seems to make the right decision. He's constantly in tune with his team, and I don't think I've ever seen Infused out of touch on this game type. I mean, it's such a strong game type for them. And it's all because of Jimbo and the rest of the squad just listening to each other, trusting each other's calls. And when you're listening to Jimbo's stream and Infused's communication, I know he likes to stream without communication nowadays, but back when he used to stream with comms on this game type, there's so many small talk kind of situations where it's like, okay, Robbie and Brand stronghold, Mose, you and me, we go forward. Like, that's the difference between Infused and the rest of the teams in Europe right now on that game type.
Yeah, I always feel like with Infused, the smaller the map, the better they are, because you have to be even more aggressive and they've got to speed up the pace game even further than you actually possibly can. And it just seems like when you actually see these maps in terms of like Empire or Rig, it seems to be their best game types because it is the most aggressive maps to be in. You have to be in that terms of scenario. But, you know, when the Collie CTF coming up now, we're going to see whether you see Soaring actually be able to keep up the momentum from game 1 and 2 going into this, or if game 3 it'll just be a complete flop again like it was in that third one.
Yeah, of course, they need to win this next one if they want to stay in the series and force a game 5, but Colosseum Capture the Flag is going to be our game number 4, gentlemen. Now, we saw Soaring. They turned it around in the last series after losing their first game. Now they're back on Colosseum. It was Slayer last time, Capture the Flag this time. Can they take this one and send it to that game 5, or do you think Infused are just going to close this series out?
I mean, the defining factor in the Colosseum Slayer that they won was the rocket launcher on this map. So we're going to start this one off with Cristola, the head case, who keeps resetting the lobby so we can't see the stats for long enough. We'll start with him on this game type because rocket control is going to be so pivotal. I'm not sure who it is from Infused who plays rockets off the start. I think they play it depending on the spawns that each player gets, but I know it's Cristola and Snaky who love to play rocket side from Soaring. So we'll start with one of those two, whoever goes for the rockets. But yeah, you see every 2 minutes it's going to be so important to set up at that rocket tower and make sure you get that rocket launcher in your team's possession.
Yeah, one thing we can't underestimate as well is the importance of that sniper rifle as well. With that reduced ammo in that rocket launcher, that sniper can really dominate and create opportunities for your teams to run those flags. And it's actually going to be Jimbo who can test those rockets at the start. And we talked about how important it was for Soaring to get it in them's hands. It's the man himself, Jimbo, who's managed to get that weapon.
Really strange play from Chris at the start of the map. I mean, he was kind of playing super passive on elbow, and you kind of had to go up to rockets to contest the damn thing. I'm not sure what he was expecting to do from there. I mean, whether or not they were trying to counter strat Infused, I'm not too sure, but that's very unlike Cristola, and maybe he was trying to buddy up with Snaky who kind of pushed forward. I don't know. That's a very strange play from Cristola, and now as a result, Jimbo with rockets, he's on your own bridge. He's going to pick up Slays with these rockets. We'll take down Snaky to no shields and we'll go down in the end, but guess what? You got Jimbo! What a swap, right as he hits the no-scope on SLG. Lovely stuff, and now he's Royal 2ing, and this is what you do not want if you are part of Soaring. SLG, goodbye, friend. Enjoy your respawn.
Oh, but somehow SLG managed to pick up that kill on Mose to stop that flag, because this is pretty much the situation. If Kimbo could pick, I think, any situation in Halo 5 to be in, it would be here. Sound this Royal 2 snipe with that sniper.
Yeah, and it's impossible to get him off the thing. I mean, what's interesting is the fact he actually had no support and was still being allowed to sit on Royal 2. Doesn't get the triple, could still get it with nice shots on Cristola right there, but we'll swap over to Respectful, who's pushed up further than Kimbo. Kimbo's on a bit of a spree right now, but yeah, Kimbo is allowed to sit on Royal 2 with the snipe, with no help behind him at Snipe Tower. You can't let that happen if you're Soaring.
Yeah, they're just letting Kimbo get in the way with anything they want. They need to really stay in the back of the flag when open, just try and find a good opportunity to all stay alive and then make that push to get Snipe Tower back. But it seems like right now, Infuse aren't giving them that a chance. There's 3 of them on that side, just making sure Soaring is suffocated as much as they can. But they need to get some kind of crossfire going. They need someone to go bottom mid and flank grass, just try and get him off Snipe in any way, shape or form.
Rockets will go into the hands of Cristola. SLG picks up a double kill as well, so his team are going to have a 4v2 situation here. We can see a fight going down with Kimbo as well, traded out. Last player is going to be taken down by Cristola here, so all players from Team Infused here are sat on that respawn. A chance for Soaring to make their first real aggressive push onto this Infused base. They do pick up a kill, but Cristola's actually going to back up here with SLG. I'd like to see them maybe try and push it a little bit more aggressively, but it looks like their teammates are a little bit slow to back them up. Now the cavalry is coming in. Fragger picks up a kill, and now Kimbo by giving that time to be coming off the respawn, picks up a double and just puts up that defensive stand.
I gotta say, the reason that Soaring didn't push as aggressively into that base is because Snaky was sat so far back in his own flag, thinking there would be an overextender, trying to go through trench, and he didn't want a flag to be pulled behind his team. And as a result, Soaring, they didn't have the numbers needed to push into INFUSED's base, and it worked out in the end for INFUSED. So INFUSED turtling very well. Sniper coming up right now. We'll see who grabs that one. I think Jimbo is still over at Sniper Tower. He's just been taken down by SLG, who has the snipe. So we'll swap over to him and see what he can do. Hasn't really hit too many superstar snipes like he used to. He's going to play a little bit of objective right here and pay with his life. Guess who's got the new snipe, though? It's going to be Kimbo.
Did some work with it last time. Managed to pick up a killing spree. He's just such a consistent sniper as well, Kimbo. It's one of the things I love so much about him. Right on cue. Thank you, Robbie, for making me not look stupid there. But another player going to be taken down here. And this is where Kimbo's so effective, because he's just so good at putting pressure on these respawners. And once again, look at this. It's almost as if he's gravitating towards this Royal 2 spot. Takes down the player in the back of the base. That's Fragger. Mose picks up another one. And look at this. Respectful running the flag. And it's going to be Kimbo set up again to just pick off any of these players coming off the respawn. SLG going to be pushing under the base, and somehow these players from Soaring have actually managed to get through, but Snaky's going to be taken down, and I think this might well be a flag cap going into Team INFUSED's hands.
Respectful is no shields at the moment in his own base, so I'm not sure if there's any pressure coming his way. Probably not, considering Kimbo is just decimating the opposition at the moment. This would be Respectful's flag capture, but we all want to see Kimbo, who just went down. Sorry about that.
And one thing you'll notice is with Respectful, even though it was almost a guaranteed cap, he made sure that both his teammates, if they spawned open, then he knows that he's got no aggression coming up against him. If they didn't spawn open and they spawned with him, then he would know straight away that you have to wait for a little bit longer to gain that cap. So it was a great play by Respectful by then.
Predictive rocket works out here for Mose. He's looking for more as well. Kimbo picks up another. Fragger and SLG coming off the respawn on that elbow. Another fantastic opportunity here for the guys on Team INFUSED to run this flag. But Kimbo, he's used to a sniper in his hands. It doesn't look like he's quite so sure about having that flag in his hands, but it looks like a call from Respectful might come here. Throws it towards the window now. Once again, all about slays for Team INFUSED. That flag in an open position on the map. The players coming off the respawn here for Soaring might have the opportunity to get eyes on that, so they need to push these players, pick up the kills, and then look for a touch on that flag.
Yeah, they've already got the return. That was very quick from Soaring to just hop on that return as soon as they knew Respectful was last alive. And they can run a flag right here. 3 down for INFUSED. Respectful's the only one alive, and he's just coming off the spawn. So key right here, find Respectful, look in that kill feed, see if he goes down. If he does, this is probably a capture, and there it is. This is probably tied up 1-1. Very well played from Soaring, recognizing the 3 down from INFUSED, and there you go, we're all tied up.
Yeah, clean cap from them as well. The stealth cap coming in, not one bullet. Tickling the shields of Fragger as he ran back with that flag in hand. Jimbo going to be top of the pyramid at the moment, and look at this. Carbine in hand. Kimbo going to be taken down to pretty much low shields. 2 players on the snipe side of the map here, so a nice spread of players here for Soaring. Fragger just going to be using this carbine to do the damage that he can. Not such a devastating weapon since that tune-in update, but still does do that damage at long range. Didn't manage to pick up any kills, but did do some damage. Cristola and Respectful trade out those kills, but at 1-1, this really has been a back-and-forth game.
Yeah, Fragger's initial instinct right there was to try and play on the enemy team's elbow and prevent them getting any handle on the rocket launcher. Right now, it doesn't look like either team are going to play for this rocket launcher. We'll see what SLG's up to. He's obviously going to look for this sniper, and big team fight coming up right here. Keep an eye on the kill feed. Who wins this fight? Snaky will go down. Respectful will survive the lunge, will go down eventually, but where's the sniper? That's the question. I think it's still on the respawn, which it is. And Fragger is the man to grab it, immediately looking towards this new rocket launcher.
Rockets are popping. Respectful picks up a kill. Fragger, I see him maybe try and get an angle as you see his teammates. Does find the angle on the player as well. Gonna be another player in front of him. Fragger hits the no-scope for that double kill, coming under pressure from Mose. Kimbo has managed to escape with those rockets though. 2 in the chamber, of course, that reduced clip. But SLG's managed to pick up the sniper rifle as well. But Kimbo could have a field day here. Picks up 1 rocket. The double kill for Kimbo. He's looking for more as well. Kimbo with a triple. Takes all of those players down, puts them in respawn, and he's immediately pushing on the base.
I love that. He knew the player had snipe, but guess what? He doesn't care about that. He wants to fortify this flag run. Look at the overextenders on the blue outlines. That's going to be Respectful spot to try and tag up. Fragger getting through. Keep an eye on that kill feed. Jimbo or Kimbo to take down Fragger, and Jimbo in the end of the fight, he will lose it. And now they have to worry about Fragger running the flag. This could be a real counter-cap opportunity here for Soaring. Where's the flag for Infused? The return actually came in, I think, from Soaring, so now it's all about this flag run.
Yeah, the second time in the game there, we've seen overextenders pretty much getting through without getting shot there. So you have to say Team Infused maybe not doing the greatest of jobs of controlling those respawns once they do get that 3 or 4 dead. Definitely something for them to look at for the rest of this game. Snaky picks up a kill. SLG's going to swoop in and pick up that flag. This is going to be another flag going in, and it's going to be the guys on Soaring who go up 2-1.
Yeah, it's just weird in terms of how Infused normally play, because you saw in those scenarios it's getting really messy and they're getting way too desperate. But for once, we saw Soaring being really patient and try and get that flag in any way, shape or form. And they knew that Infused will start panicking in that kind of scenario.
Simple no scope from Respectful there on the player not looking for him. I say simple. Simple for these players. Kimbo picks up another kill now. There's an opportunity here for Infused. We see 2 kills going down. Kimbo with the rockets again. I think that's his 5th or 6th kill already in this game with that rocket launcher, as well as that sniper. So he's been doing damage with those power weapons. The push now coming in. Respectful picks up 1. Players on the respawn and the overextension though. Respectful can get this flag out to the snipe side of the map potentially, but now he's the last alive, but that's a huge kill. Stopping that flag run, now throwing this one out. Respectful doing great work there for his team and making fantastic decisions.
Yeah, let's see what Mose and the boys do off the respawn here. If he gets this kill on Fragger, he can get the touch. Sprint for that touch, boy, you need it. And in fact, nope, it's going to be the return instead. And guess what? All the while, the flag was being run by Cristola. So now slays are super important for Team Infused. They're on the re already with Kimbo. He will actually get the return. Sniper coming up in 10, you hear on the announcer. But wow, both teams really should have scored those flags, honestly. If Mose gets that touch, then that flag stays alive. And if you keep tabs on Kimbo, he doesn't get that return. It's a crazy game so far on Coliseum. Only 3 minutes left. And guess who's got the snipe? It's my man, Jimbo.
Let's see what he can do with it as well. We talked about his performance on Plaza, how he's been so good with it on that particular map. Can he put it to use in the same way that his teammates have? At the moment, not quite hitting the shots, but coming under pressure as well. So more difficult shots, in my opinion, to hit when you're coming under that pressure. Look at this counter cap coming in there. There's 3 dead for Infused here. That flag is away. So the Team Infused players are coming off of the respawn on the correct side of the map for them to get a touch on that. However, both flags away. Team Infused need to play this one perfectly, because if they do not, they are going to lose this game, and we are going to see a 5th game in this series.
Very risky position for Snaky to play with Snipe right there, because guess what? You have Kimbo now in his favorite position on the map with his favorite weapon. I can't wait to see this man's power weapon kills at the end of this game. Jimbo is the flag player for Team Infused. You can see in the kill feed, he's cleaned up Cristola. Kimbo, no shields right here. Honestly, if I'm Soaring, I peek him right there. And look at where Jimbo is with the flag. What is this man doing?
There is actually a player behind as well. I think it's Fragger who's managed to get behind enemy lines here. So, I mean, if Infused don't act quickly here, this is going to be a horrible situation. And here he comes. Fragger comes behind. Snaky managed to stay alive as well. Snaky's on the return as well. He's going to get this return. Is anyone in position? Yes, they are. So Fragger with that flank. Team Infused's communication not on point again. And they fall in the game number 4. We are going to a game 5.
Dude, I respect you want to be aggressive with the flag, but taking it back to the enemy team's base, is that the right play? I'm not too sure. 30 and 15 from Kimbo.
Holy cow.
Take a look at his power weapon kills.
11. I think that's the most I've seen.
That's crazy.
I think that's the most I've seen on
Coliseum. Not the most
Coliseum.
damage in the game, though. It was actually Respectful taking that moniker, but wow.
I think the whole Jimbo with the flag situation, you remember Fragger was actually on Infused's bridge, wasn't there? So I think Jimbo thought to himself, you know what, instead of getting a 1v1 situation, I'll see if I can turn into a 4v3 where we try and actually kill some and take their flag. If we lose ours, we'll go into overtime. But it seemed like from them, it was just way too late. Like Fragger by then flanked round and basically managed to kill off all of them. And it's weird because Infused had so much time at the end on cave side just to at least try and make a push or bait them out in any way and get some information so Kimbo can go straight in and start sniping them. But they seemed a bit hesitant to actually see or try and make a decision on what they should do to actually try and get that flag back.
One thing that stands out for me, whenever I see Team Infused lose this game type, I feel like they kind of lose it themselves, if you know what I mean. They have, in that game, they had more than enough opportunities to capture flags and stop flags. It was mistakes that they made, either communication issues, not finding those last overextenders who managed to get a pull, and then from there, they can't recycle that flag. But I just feel like, I don't feel like Soaring won that game. I feel like Infused lost that game.
Felt like there was a lot of pointless slates coming in from Team Infused, which is very uncharacteristic from them. I mean, credit to Soaring, they were doing a really good job. Every single time they spawned elbow where they knew a player from Infused didn't have the sniper like Kimbo did. I mean, put it this way, when there was no sniper in play for Team Infused, what did Soaring do? They pushed back into their own flag, they played behind the flag table, and just milked as much time for the respawners coming up and pushing elbow to kind of supplement that push back into their own base. Really good base retakes from them, but as soon as they knew Kimbo had that sniper on Royal 2, what did they do? They just overextend. They played down low. They played really unorthodox positions. So, yeah, a lot of pointless slays coming in from Infused, but they were only pointless because Soaring made them pointless. Very well played from them.
Yeah, absolutely. Like SLG, I think it was both times actually where he actually got that counter cap, because you'll see 3 of them, you know, 2 will stay on the flag on open side, 1 will go underneath, and then if things get a bit out of hand, 1 will go grass and try and flank round. But the best thing is SLG will just, you know, just run across their flag, bring it back, like simple as that on open side. And it's very rare because you don't see anyone just grabbing it and just taking it straight back without getting shot, or at least show some indication that he's actually done it. So well played by SLG, just been really sneaky the last couple of caps.
And another thing to point out in that game, I mean, Team Infused dominated the power weapons. We saw Kimbo picking up snipes. We saw Kimbo also using those rockets and dominating it. So to lose in that fashion, very disappointing for Team Infused. And we are now going into a Game 5 in the semi-final. Infused, you know, their backs against the wall right now. Game number 5 is Rig Slayer, gentlemen. Now, if Infused managed to control power-ups and power weapons in this game, this should be fairly easy going, but we've seen the momentum this Soaring team can have. When they win those games, when they push it towards that Game 5, you don't know what's going to happen. The French magic can come out.
And for that exact reason, I'm going to say the start of this game is going to dictate the pace of the rest of the game. If Infused, they break their way back inside and grab the first camouflage, or at least get a burn off, they're going to know their timing on the second one. We know how good their team fighting is around white corner, around E2 to grab the camouflage. If you're Soaring, you're looking to get away with the camouflage. The first camouflage of the game, you have to just get away with that camouflage if you're looking to extend the game as long as possible. Because if Infused, they know their timing on that and they grab a sniper in their hands, you got to say they're probably going to come out with a win here in Game 5.
Yeah, and Lethal, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the player that I want to highlight in this one. That's Kimbo. Kimbo had a huge performance in the last game, and on the rig, he really is impressive. What makes him such an important part of this Team Infused lineup?
He is one of those people where if you play against him, I just feel like I'm going to lose every time, because he literally never misses, but strategically, he's very, very clever. So in these kind of scenarios, when he's like holding cave, his work ethic and his discipline on how he actually does things and side around the map is really, really good. But sometimes he's a little bit too patient, as you may have seen when he's playing with Snipe on cave side. So hopefully he'll be a bit more aggressive going into these picks.
Here we go then. Game number 5. Team Infused backs against the wall. Soaring taking them all the way to the end of this series. Sniper rifle going to be important. 3-minute respawn on that one. Scatter shot 20 seconds after it's been fully used. Gentlemen, who do you think is going to take this one? One word.
Oh, couldn't tell you.
Oh, it's your only word. All right, let's get straight into this one. And Harry's picking Infused. The other Harry is just going, oh, and Kimbo's going to pick up the first kill here. 1-to-1, the opening start here. Kills being traded back and forth. Not sure if anyone managed to steal away with that camo or if it's been burnt. Sorry, looks like it might well have been burnt.
Yeah, key in the game right now is actually Snaky with the camo. Jimbo saw him for a second, but can't quite connect the shot. He's going to know that Snake's weak, and there you go. That's going to be camo down. The instant reaction from Jimbo, push inside the map. I love this. You've got to get a few returns off this sniper right here. You've got to put this snipe to use and extend a lead. You really can put this game to bed early on if you start hitting shots with this, but so far, no good from Jimbo. And that's going to allow Soaring back into the game early on. They really could have extended into a massive lead right there if Jimbo had just gotten a few kills here and there.
Scatter shots in the hands of Respectful. Cristola cleans that one up. So power weapon control. Initially the scatter shot and snipe in the hands of Infused, but somehow or other Soaring have managed to tie the game up at 7-7 and not only take the weapons out of the hands of Infused, they've now taken the lead as well. 2 dead for Infused. Jimbo going up against Snaky. Snaky going to be taken down though by Jimbo, so that scatter shot's going to be laying on the ground. You bet your bottom dollar that Jimbo's screaming that out to his teammates. Yeah, Jimbo's actually going to go for it himself and leave SLG, who's sat on E2. Look at this game sense from Jimbo. He knows SLG's going to be around there somewhere. Doesn't quite connect with the grenades though, so he won't have the information. Still suspects he's going to be around here. Unfortunate switch of the weapon right there. And honestly, if I'm Soaring right now, let's just relax. We have a 2-point lead thanks to Cristola cleaning up Kimbo. It was only a 1-point lead. I was going to say, let's just relax until around 10 seconds time. We need to start fighting back into the map. Fragger right here. Will he get the jump on Jimbo? Won't quite get it. And with camouflage coming up very soon, look for teams to try and transition over to E, where Fragger is right now, and also to that white corner.
ready to grab that camouflage. You can see Kimbo's intent is exactly that.
Yeah, I was literally just about to point out as well, but Infused need to get some kind of whitehall control to get this camo. But even though you can give it to them and just wait for them to not contest it, the problem is that further on this kind of map, you can easily get a 5-10 kill extension lead. And look how patient both teams are actually trying to get this camo. But it looks like the guys from Soaring want to get the camo,
huge camo,
just so hopefully, even if I do burn it, then at least it's a kill rather than losing 5 kills. But great play by Fragaven getting that camo successfully.
Camo in his hands, but again we're seeing camo not used effectively by Soaring. Last time it was Jimbo, this time it's Kimbo taking that camo out. Not one single kill for that camo there from Soaring. That is a huge misplay. Snaky though with a double kill. He gets taken down, but a 2-kill lead in the hands, make that 3-kill lead in the hands of Soaring. Infused, Mose is going to be caught out as well. This is not looking good for them. A 4-kill lead now for Soaring.
Production, can we get a replay of that snaky double kill and super slow motion? Because I'm not sure, but I think he might have just ninja Kimbo for a double after a perfect on Respectful. I'd love to see that in super slow-mo and see if that was exactly the case. Kimbo has sniped though, so we'll swap over to him. And this is a player who can be really clinical with snipe, and they're closing the gap right now, all tied up in the game. This is what you want if you're Infused. You have the inside of the map, you have Soaring spawning on the outside, Kimbo's staring at that area in particular, and if you're SLG, you've got to worry about Kimbo because he's a menace with this weapon.
Almost a surprise that he doesn't hit that no-scope on the player thrust line across open field. So indicative of how good this player is with that particular weapon. Fragger picks up a kill here. Team Infused doing a good job of controlling the whitehall at the moment, which gives them all of those angles. Oh, Kimbo heart in his mouth and finally lets go of that trigger and takes down Fragger. And not only that, takes the lead away from Soaring. Looks like he's trying to feel out where these players are. Cristola's going to narrowly miss that shot. Another player coming off the respawn. He just looked away at the wrong moment there. SOG has the scatter shot. There's going to be a power weapon each for both of these players. It looks like Kimbo's just blocking these spawns at the moment, letting his teammates push those carbine spawns. They're doing a pretty good job, but now it's going to be traded out. Kimbo had to hit that shot, otherwise that could have been a turnover of that weapon back to the Soaring guys.
Love the transition from E1 to E2 from Kimbo, knowing that camouflage is coming up and knowing players are going to try and fight back into the inside of the map for the camouflage. Such a smart sightline to take. I believe camouflage is down at the bottom of the map right now, so we'll see if either team goes for it. Right now, the man with the main weapon in the game is going to be Kimbo. SLG on the other side has the scatter shot, so don't get close to him, and in fact, it's going to be Respectful with that camouflage. So everything looking very good for Infused right now. You've got to take it down SLG if you really want to cement your position in the lead of this game. Only up by 1 right now, and Kimbo maybe should have hit that one.
I was just about to talk about Kimbo and that camo play. Psychologically, for Soaring, when you see that kill field fill up with a couple of snipes just as that camo going up, you know you can't challenge it because you know Kimbo's hitting those shots, so it becomes so much more easier for Respectful just to steal in and take that one away, but it hasn't been too important. Again, somehow, even with Kimbo hitting these shots, his teammates must be dying around him because it's a 1-kill lead now for Soaring as we get to that world-famous 30-kill mark in Team Slayers. This is where decisions get made that win and lose games, gentlemen. And in a Game 5, not only does it win you the game, this can win you the series.
Yeah, in a Game 5, that 30-kill mark and also the 6-minute mark coming up too. So this is a very, very treacherous area of the game. Don't forget, Soaring, if they win this, they knock Team Infused, the #1 team in Europe, out of the tournament in the semi-finals. So absolutely vital you play your cards right here. Do you go for sniper first? Do you just maintain control of the inside of the map for the camouflage coming up? Don't forget it was Infused who had the last couple of camos, so almost vitally important that you grab the sniper at least if you're Soaring.
That's a really strange.
And one thing I was going to say about SLG is the fact that with SLG in Engine, just in general, his discipline, being on Engine 2 to Engine 1, knowing that, making sure no one spawns bunker, but knowing that that camo's coming for any time now, and Kimbo with a nice headshot from Nest side, but this is a one-time for Infused to make any kind of play to get that camo and stop Soaring from increasing their lead.
Yeah, this is a huge kill. Taking down Snaky here. That's 3 dead. That's a great push from Team Infused. They managed to tie the game up, and once again, it's been sparked by the man from Germany, Kimbo. Looking for a second shot here. Manages to take Fragger down to no shields, but Fragger using the map geometry to stay alive in that battle edge, and I like this from Mo. Sees all those players coming off the respawn, has the camo, doesn't want to give it away too quickly, so calls out all of that information for his team, and now they're going to have all of these players from Soaring trapped on the Carbine side of the map.
Don't fall apart if you're Soaring right now. This is not the end of the game. You don't have to worry that much about hemorrhaging.
Oh, SLG somehow took him down.
Many deaths. If you're Infused, this game is still only down by 2 in favor of Soaring, I should say. That was horrendous wording, but you got the gist of it. Only all tied up right now. I was about to say only
all tied up.
Kill down. Double from Fragger. What a series. What a tournament he's having. It's only fair we swap over to him. Kimbo's still with Snipe on the Infused side, so you've got to watch out for him. But, I mean, geez, this is a huge nest fight down there in Nest 1. Respectful will save Kimbo, but this game is so close right now. Balanced on a knife edge.
Infused did a good job to group up there, because for a moment they were split across the map. We saw Jimbo, and this could be a game changer. Jimbo manages to pick up the first kill in the team fight here. He's going to be taking another player taken down to no shield. Fragger hits an all-important shot there to keep it within 1 kill. But not only that, he keeps his life and manages to escape with that sniper rifle as well. Kimbo versus Fragger. Fragger's going to be no shield whatsoever. Somehow picks up another kill at this time in the game. That killing spree cannot be understated.
Fragger is clutching up right now. They're still down by 1, but look at that respawn from SLG. I want to swap off Fragger right here. This is such a key moment of the game because camouflage coming up very soon. You want to be controlling this area of the map, and if Jimbo kills him, that's a huge kill to get.
Look at those kills. Look at that feed.
And one thing you've got to remember is the fact that cameras come up really soon. I think at one stage Soaring was trying to get a full setup around engine and bunker side, but Infused just didn't give him a chance. But now they've got that control. They're on that side now, and Respectful is trying to get around the back of him, but luckily enough, he is going to go flank round, and hopefully his teammate with Infused will get the other kill as well on engine 1.
This should be done. There's another player just trapped in this bunker. There's no way he should be able to get away, but Respectful looks like he's not quite aware, and somehow 2 players have managed to stay alive here. Cristola takes Respectful down to no shields. SLG cleans up the kill. Infused just 2 kills away, and oh, what a power-up to get in this series. Mose has the game in his hands, but he's going to be spotted out by Soaring. If they can take him down, that's huge, and it's Fragger who takes down Mose. They stay alive, they bring it to within 2 kills, and now we're going to see 1 kill the difference.
Lord.
Sniper rifle coming up as well. Soaring will not die.
Snakey is not missing right now. They're all tied up. Only 2 deaths to play with for both teams. Sniper in the hands of Fragger. We have to swap over to him. He's hit so many key shots. Cristola gets 1. They're 1 kill away from taking out Infused.
Slow the game down. Let Fragger do his job here. You have the game in your hands. The newest pickup for this team just has to find a headshot to close this out and send Infused out of this 2K tournament. The Frenchman now, as you can see from the player outlines, Respectful, knows how much is on the line here. No one is peeking for Team Infused. It's all up to Fragger to hit this shot.
When is camouflage coming up? That's the question. That's what Infused are slowing this game down for right now. Obviously, they cannot die, so this push needs to be absolutely perfect. Fragger knows that. That's why he's scoping into E2. Such an important place of the map to control when you want that camouflage, and they win the game! Oh my lord, Infused! They lose to Soaring! Soaring, they pull it off, I don't know how! But they take down Team Infused